riot in Jerusalem. Paul's arrest and defense before the crowd. The biblical account of the riot in Jerusalem and Paul's subsequent arrest and defense before the crowd is a pivotal moment in the book of Acts, shedding light on the challenges, courage, and unwavering faith of early Christian missionaries. This incident takes place against the backdrop of the nascent Christian movement, as the followers of Jesus Christ faced opposition and persecution while striving to spread the transformative message of salvation. In Acts chapter 21 verses 27 to 36, we find Paul's arrival in Jerusalem, a city steeped in religious tradition and cultural identity. Having traveled extensively as a missionary, Paul's return to Jerusalem was laden with both anticipation and apprehension. Rumors had spread regarding his teachings, which some interpreted as advocating for the abandonment of Jewish customs and traditions. These rumors caused a rift within the Christian community in Jerusalem, as certain believers were concerned about the implications of Paul's message. To address these concerns, Paul participated in a purification ritual at the temple to demonstrate his adherence to Jewish customs. However, tensions escalated when a group of Jews from Asia, who had previously encountered Paul with Trophimus, a Gentile Ephesian, in the city, falsely accused him of bringing Gentiles into the sacred confines of the temple. This accusation struck at the heart of Jewish identity and reverence for the temple, igniting a spark that would soon erupt into a full-fledged riot. The events that unfolded next, as described in Acts chapter 21 verses 27 to 36, are chaotic and intense. The crowd seizes Paul and drags him out of the temple, intent on silencing his teachings once and for all. The situation is tumultuous, with emotions running high among the people who feel deeply connected to their religious heritage. In the midst of this turmoil, Roman soldiers stationed nearby intervene to restore order and prevent further violence. Paul's arrest is a significant turning point in his missionary journey, one that leads to his defense before the crowd. Paul's defense is a powerful testament to his faith, resilience, and commitment to the gospel. In Acts chapter 22 verses 1 to 21, Paul seizes the opportunity to address the crowd and provide a detailed account of his background, conversion, and calling as an apostle of Christ. He narrates his zealous adherence to Judaism, describing himself as a Pharisee who actively persecuted followers of Jesus before his transformative encounter with the risen Lord on the road to Damascus. This encounter, accompanied by a blinding light and a divine voice, leads to Paul's conversion and redirection of his life's purpose. Throughout his defense, Paul emphasizes the inclusive nature of his mission. He recounts Jesus' words during the encounter, stating that he was chosen to be a witness not only to Jews but also to Gentiles. This aspect of Paul's calling aligns with Jesus' broader teachings about the universality of the gospel and the fulfillment of God's plan for salvation for all humanity. As Paul eloquently states in Galatians chapter 3 verse 28, "There is neither Jew nor Gentile, neither slave nor free, nor is there male and female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus." Paul's address highlights the transformative power of Christ's message. His transition from a zealous persecutor of Christians to a fervent apostle underscores the life-changing impact of encountering Jesus Christ. This transformation is not only a personal narrative but also a representation of the broader spiritual transformation that takes place when one surrenders to the message of salvation. In the face of hostility and potential danger, Paul's courage and steadfastness serve as an embodiment of Jesus' teachings on persecution and discipleship. In Matthew chapter 5 verses 10 to 12, Jesus blesses those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, assuring them of a heavenly reward. This promise resonates with Paul's actions as he endures persecution for the sake of proclaiming the gospel. Furthermore, Paul's defense and subsequent experiences reflect the Apostle Peter's words in 1 Peter chapter 4 verses 12 to 14. "Dear friends, do not be surprised at the fiery ordeal that has come on you to test you, as though something strange were happening to you. But rejoice inasmuch as you participate in the sufferings of Christ, so that you may be overjoyed when his glory is revealed." The aftermath of Paul's defense and arrest provides a glimpse into the broader challenges faced by early Christian communities. Paul's journey as a missionary was marked by various trials, including imprisonments, beatings, and shipwrecks. His unwavering commitment to spreading the gospel, even in the face of adversity, stands as a testament to his unyielding faith and dedication to his calling. The aftermath of the riot and Paul's defense in Jerusalem has far-reaching implications for the early Christian movement and its ongoing mission to spread the gospel message. The events that transpired in Jerusalem served to solidify the challenges that the early church faced as it navigated the complexities of cultural, religious, and social contexts. The riot and subsequent arrest of Paul highlight the tensions between the message of Christ and the established religious norms of the time. The accusations against Paul of defiling the temple by bringing Gentiles into its precincts were deeply rooted in the religious identity of the Jewish people. The temple held immense significance as a symbol of their connection to God and their distinct heritage. Therefore, any perceived threat to the sanctity of the temple was met with vehement opposition. Paul's defense not only provided him an opportunity to share his personal testimony but also allowed him to address the misconceptions and misunderstandings surrounding his teachings. His narrative of transformation from a persecutor of Christians to an ardent follower of Christ emphasized the profound change that encountering Jesus can bring about in a person's life. By recounting his own experience, Paul underscored the universality of God's redemptive plan, which transcends cultural and religious boundaries. Furthermore, Paul's assertion that his mission extended beyond the Jewish community to the Gentiles was met with mixed reactions. While some listeners may have resonated with the idea of a message accessible to all, others could have been resistant to the notion of sharing God's blessings with those outside their cultural and religious framework. This tension mirrors the broader challenge faced by the early church as it sought to navigate the balance between preserving its Jewish roots and embracing the expansion of the gospel to the Gentiles. The theme of suffering for the sake of the gospel, which is central to Paul's narrative, echoes throughout the New Testament. The Apostle Paul himself would go on to experience numerous trials, including imprisonment and eventual martyrdom for his unwavering commitment to his faith. His resilience in the face of adversity resonates with the words of Jesus in Matthew chapter 10 verse 22. "You will be hated by everyone because of me, but the one who stands firm to the end will be saved." Paul's defense and the subsequent events in Jerusalem also underscore the need for wisdom and discernment in navigating cultural sensitivities while proclaiming the gospel. While the gospel message is unchanging, the way it is communicated and contextualized can vary based on the audience and cultural background. Paul's ability to connect with the crowd by sharing his own story illustrates the importance of relating the message of Christ to the lived experiences of the listeners. In a broader theological context, the events in Jerusalem serve as a reminder of the redemptive narrative that runs throughout the Bible. Just as Paul's life was transformed by encountering Jesus, humanity's relationship with God was forever changed through the redemptive work of Christ on the cross. The riot, the arrest, and the subsequent defense all contribute to the unfolding drama of God's plan of salvation, a plan that weaves together individual stories, cultural dynamics, and the ultimate sacrifice of Christ. As modern-day believers, the riot in Jerusalem and Paul's defense before the crowd challenge us to reflect on our own commitment to sharing the gospel message. We are called to stand firm in our faith, even in the face of opposition and persecution. We are encouraged to communicate the message of Christ with wisdom and sensitivity, recognizing the diverse backgrounds and experiences of those we engage with. Like Paul, we are reminded that the transformative power of the gospel has the potential to break down barriers, bridge gaps, and unite individuals from all walks of life. In conclusion, the riot in Jerusalem and Paul's arrest and defense before the crowd encapsulate the complexities, challenges, and triumphs of the early Christian movement. Paul's steadfast faith, his transformative encounter with Christ, and his willingness to endure suffering for the sake of the gospel are emblematic of the commitment required to follow Christ. The events in Jerusalem continue to resonate with believers today, inspiring us to boldly proclaim the message of salvation, engage with cultural nuances, and remain unwavering in our devotion to Christ, who calls us to be witnesses to the ends of the earth. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the remarkable biblical account of the riot in Jerusalem, Paul's arrest and defense before the crowd. We've delved into the intense events that unfolded in the early days of the Christian movement, exploring Paul's unwavering faith, his transformative encounter with Christ, and his courageous defense in the face of opposition. As we reflect on these ancient events, we're reminded of the timeless truths that continue to resonate with believers today. Just as Paul's story encourages us to stand firm in our faith and share the transformative message of the gospel, we're inspired to navigate cultural sensitivities with wisdom and to embrace the call to be witnesses to a world in need of hope. If you found this exploration of biblical history and its relevance to our lives meaningful, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more insightful content, and hit the notification bell to stay updated. We invite you to share your thoughts and insights in the comments below. How does Paul's journey resonate with your own faith journey? Thank you for being a part of our community. Keep seeking, keep learning, and keep sharing the light of Christ in a world that needs it. Until next time, may you find strength and inspiration in the stories of old as you continue to navigate your own spiritual journey.